This is NDTV. And you're watching NDTV Hindu.
A 6-hour road roko by angry law students is thwarted. The High Court fires a few orders and takes them off the streets. But is the boy in concern dead, alive, or has he committed suicide? Questions riddle the family, friends and the college. Jayalalitha's clan raised their voices for the farmers of Sri Perumbudur. Villagers fear they'll lose their peace along with their land. Meanwhile, she also takes the turn to break bread with her Muslim brethren. The DMK's former ally, TMMK, makes their presence known. Karti Chidambaram pulls out his clean slate, dismisses all accusations of creating a rift
as if I
within
was
the
gate
youth
crashing
Congress.
into a party or something like that.
The Foreign Secretary of India makes Karunanidhi a promise to send a senior officer to the island nation to assess rehabilitation.
Early next month, we will be sending a very senior official of the Government of India to Sri Lanka.
This is News Tonight on NDTV Hindu. Good evening, I'm Evelyn Matthew. It's been a day of protests, one that tried to get justice for a friend whose life is still in question, and another that tried to bring a friend into the political fold. We'll bring you those stories in detail, but before that, a look at some of the stories making headlines in the rest of the country. A cloudburst in Uttarakhand claims the lives of 18 children. Few are still believed to be trapped under the debris. Former Satyam chief Ramalanga Raju gets a bail, but the Andhra court orders that his treatment at his hospital be continued. A defiant Mamta Didi stands by her controversial remarks on Maoist leader Azad's killing, doesn't rule out mediating between the centre and Maoists. The government comes under attack over the nuclear liability bill. Mulayam and Lalu say the Congress let Modi off. And the police of Ghaziabad charged 6, including the hostel dean, in the recent suicide case of an engineering student. The agitating students of the Ambedkar Law College fell in line today after a 6-hour strike thanks to an order by the Madras High Court. The students were asking for action to be taken against the police officials who allegedly beat up one of their fellow students to death. But that landed up inconveniencing the public using the roads for hours together this morning. The High Court has now asked for a case to be registered and have ordered the police to let the boy's parents to meet him, as according to the police, the student is still alive, although critically injured. The Madras High Court has also directed the police to register a case to ascertain as to whether the law student has died or is critically injured, in fact. And the president of the Tamil Nadu Advocates Association, Mr. Prabhakaran, spoke to us and said that the higher police officials of the state should be more in control and take quick action.
But what I have been repeatedly trying to say, the police authorities, once we lodge a complaint against the erring police official, why the higher police official is keeping quiet? They would have taken immediate action against the erring police officials. That you would do it. Otherwise, this type of, you cannot avoid these type of problems. See, otherwise the students will come and they are raising their voice, they are raising for the democratic, their agitations, everything going on. We can't say that the students coming on the road and fighting for the justice. We can't say it is not correct. It is absolutely the legal fraternity. We are strongly supports the law students in this case, because the innocent students has been suffered a lot. The innocent students has been attacked by the police officials without any reason, without ascertaining any facts. You have to ascertain the facts. Of course, even assuming that some complaints has been lodged against the students, you have to ascertain the facts whether it is correct or not.
Well, protest rang in the outskirts of the city as well. Rain or storm, the main opposition in the state, the AIADMK has decided to stand by their farmer friends this time to make sure they pocket their votes in 2011. Jayalalitha's clan took out to the streets in Sri Perumbudur, pledging their support to the farmers. The agitation was to protest against the government's move to acquire almost 7,000 acres of land for the Greenfield airport there. It was a massive show of strength there, with hundreds of party workers and families of farmers led by the Rajya Sabha member Dr. Maitriyan. Well, the plans for that great Greenfield Airport near Sriperumbudur has obviously attracted a lot of criticism, especially among political parties. There are also fears in villages that surround the town, where people believe that they may be asked to relocate. NDTV Hindu visited one of the villages, Thirumanikuppam.
Shankari has been unhappy ever since reports of a new airport near her village started emerging. She is worried that her family and many farmers like them might have to abandon their village where they have lived for more than 30 years.
எங்க பிள்ளைங்க இல்ல ஊர் பிள்ளைகள் எல்லாமே பக்கத்துல ஸ்கூல் இருக்கு அங்க போய் படிக்கறாங்க ஸ்ரீபெரும்புதூருக்கும் போயிட்டு படிக்கறாங்க இவங்க எங்க எடுத்து கிரீன்ஃபீல்ட் விமான நிலையம் வந்தா இவங்க எங்க எடுத்து போய் விடுவாங்க எங்க பசங்க எல்லாம் மேல் படிப்பு படிக்கிறதுக்கு வசதியா இருக்குமா இந்த இடம் அப்படி எல்லாம் நாங்க யோசனை பண்ண வேண்டியது இருக்குது
இந்த ஊர் விட்டு போறோம்ன்ற அந்த மன உளைச்சல் இருக்கும் எங்களுக்கு வேற எங்கயாவது போறோம்னா இப்ப நம்ம ஊர் காணாம போய்டும் நம்ம பரம்பரையா வாழ்ந்த ஊர் இது
A soil test carried out at a neighboring village has triggered concerns in Thirumanikuppam, which lies 10 kilometers from Sriperumbudur town. But village panchayat officials have dismissed the fears of the villagers as baseless. Thirumanikuppam is a peaceful village with abundant natural water supplies. It has a school, a library and a flourishing small-size handicraft industry. The soil is rich and ideal for agriculture, especially for paddy. It's a village of farmers.
எங்களுக்கு நிலம் இல்லை மற்றவருடைய நிலத்துல ஒரு காக்காணி பயிர் வச்சா கூட அவங்களுக்கு பயிர் வச்ச நிலத்துக்காரருக்கு நிலத்தை நெல் கொடுத்துட்டு குத்தகை கொடுத்துட்டு நாங்கள் வந்து ஒரு வருஷம் காக்காணி பயிர் வச்சா கூட ஒரு வருஷம் நாங்கள் வந்து சாப்பிடுவோம்.
The vast stretch of land behind me is the livelihood for over 500 families that live here. A square meal for each of them depends on this very land. With the proposed talks of the Greenfield Airport coming up at this very land, the villagers feel the scenic beauty of their village and their life will never be the same. In Thirumanikuppam village, with camera person Raja Singh, Lokpriya, NDTV Hindu.
Well, in yet another turn to score with the minority communities in the state, Jayalalitha's Iftar party today was attended by an interesting visitor, the chief of the TMMK, M.H. Jawaharlal, who was with the DMK alliance till recently. Also attended by MDMK Chief Vaiko, CPI State Secretary B. Pandian, N. Varadarajan and other small parties, the occasion proved to be quite a show of her alliance strength.
கரிமைகளை காலம் எட்டி உதைத்துவிடும் ஆனால் கொடுத்து உதவுகிற ஈகை குணம் கொண்டவர்களை வரலாறு தன் குறிப்பேட்டில் என்றும் பதித்து வைத்துக் கொள்ளும் புகழ்ந்து மகிழும்
அரசியல் கட்சியினுடைய தலைவர் என்கிற முறையில் எங்களுடைய மாண்புமிகு அம்மா அவர்கள் கடந்த 13 ஆண்டு காலமாக இந்த இஃப்தார் விருந்தை தொடர்ந்து நடத்தி கொண்டிருக்கிறார்கள். இப்படி எந்த அரசியல் கட்சி தலைவரும் இந்தியாவில் மட்டுமல்ல உலக அளவில் யாரும் அப்படி நடத்துவதாக எனக்கு தெரியவில்லை. இன்னும் தொடர்ந்து நடத்துகின்ற எண்ணம் தான் அவருடைய மனதில் இருக்கிறது.
In other news, the Indian Foreign Secretary Nirupama Rao called on Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M. Karunanidhi today with the Lankan Tamil rehabilitation issue top on her agenda. She said India was determined to accelerate the pace of rehabilitation and that a consulate will be set up this year in Jaffna. Ms. Rao also assured the Chief Minister that an envoy would be sent to Sri Lanka next month to assess the rehabilitation process in the country.
Government has said an envoy will be sent from India, ma'am. Has that been finalized? Who will be going there now?
Yes, in fact, we discussed that and I informed the Chief Minister that early next month we will be sending a very senior official of the Government of India to Sri Lanka, especially to visit the conflict-ridden areas which have now, of course, the war is ended, and especially to look at the development needs, because beyond rehabilitation we have to look at development, we have to look at livelihoods, we have to look at communications, all these aspects. So we are looking at an integrated manner in which we can help the people of the northern province and eastern.
Although India has given so much of aid, the pace with which the rehabilitation and display is taking place is quite slow. Is that a kind of a disappointment and a matter of concern for the Indian government?
All I would like to say in response to that is we are determined to accelerate the pace and we want to work much faster.
Well, in news from some of the other political circles in the state, on Monday, Tamil Nadu Youth Congress leaders had lashed out at compatriot Karthi P. Chidambaram, accusing him of making repeated attempts to create a rift within the Youth Congress. But clearing the air for us and speaking exclusively to our executive editor Sanjay Pinto, the AICC member has dismissed all the accusations against him.
Yuvraj, the Youth Congress president has accused you of going uninvited to
No, I would not like to take issue with the young man. I attended
he says
five...
no AICC member should attend
Let me clarify. I attended 5 meetings on Sunday, on Independence Day. Kumbakonam, Thiruvarur, Tiruthurai and 2 in Vedaranyam. I was invited by various Congress functionaries to attend various meetings and various events. And one meeting I was invited, there is even an invitation, along with a former MP, along with the 2 sitting Congress MLAs, one of whom who is the longest standing Congress MLA, 5-term Congress MLA, with a former deputy mayor, current deputy mayor of another city. So I was invited with a host of other Congress functionaries to attend a function of the Youth Congress. It wasn't as if I was gate crashing into a party or something like that, and I was invited.
It's not customary for an AICC member to attend. Have you got a show cause notice also?
No, I have not received anything. I mean, I think I have not received anything. Nobody has spoken to me about it. Whatever I see, I'm seeing it from the press.
Okay, and also they also say that he says that you don't have the mandate of Rahul Gandhi to talk about these issues, especially on alliance, on seat sharing and.
I am expressing the view, as I have said in a meeting in Tirupur, I am expressing the view of the unheard, unsung worker of the Congress Party.
And you stand by it?
I stand by it.
Now, the superbug scare continues to make headlines and send a shiver down a few spines. But the big question now is whether the medical fraternity is overusing antibiotics. That is, making bacteria develop multi-drug resistance. For instance, patients are given antibiotics after a medical procedure not because they are affected, but to reduce chances of infections. But to that, doctors are now saying caution and optimal use of antibiotics is the answer.
The main reason why you get a superbug or you get superbugs is because of the indiscriminate use of antibiotics. To go about it in the most scientific way, improve our hospital setup, restrict the number of visitors entering the hospital, and if infection has occurred, identify the organism, use the specific antibiotic. And pre-operative antibiotic or post-operative prophylactic antibiotics must be stopped. They can have only 1 injection of an antibiotic, that's all. So these are the ways in which you can prevent superbugs forming.
Well, while some allege that it was a deliberate bias against India and the government, they say there is a need to find out whether some ulterior motives were behind the claims. N. Ram, the editor-in-chief of the Hindu group publication, said that the need of the hour was to work out ways to tackle the problem.
So instead of focusing on the real issues, the real risks, and what needs to be done, I think we are barking up the wrong tree by resorting to this ultra-patriotic posture, blaming them and saying, oh, this is going to affect medical tourism and so on.
Well, staying with medicine and the facilities, there appears to be an acute shortage of paramedical staff, not just in rural areas, but also in the cities. But now private enterprises are stepping up to address the issue. Starting this academic year, the MEOT Academy of Allied Health Sciences will train 75 students in para-professional courses that will equip them with practical knowledge. Bachelor courses in accident and emergency care, cardiac pulmonary care and critical care, anesthesia technology and physician assistant and radiology will be administered. These 3 courses are being held in affiliation with the Dr. MGR Medical University. Students with 12th standard qualification are eligible to apply. The last date for applications will be the 30th of this month.
Basically, what this does is, being a skills-based course, people will have employment opportunities very easily. Because many hospitals, especially with the healthcare scenario as it is in India, where the needs are great, these people will be trained in skills. They would be given vocational guidance, and the employment opportunities would be great. Secondly, this will make the health care itself more caring and more cost effective, because what they will be trained in is to assist doctors.
Now, have you ever regretted buying products just because the advertisements were attractive and gave you false hopes of winning a grand prize? Well, a lot of us have at one point or the other. Here's a man who did just that and then took on the manufacturer for deceiving him. Peer Muhammad brings us this case study.
Guru Baran of T Nagar bought 50 grams of branded coffee just to participate in a mega prize contest which was printed on its cover. But it was a huge disappointment for him when he found on its inner cover that the scheme was not applicable in Tamil Nadu. He complained to the retailer, and when there was no action, he moved the South Chennai District Consumer Forum.
Though the opposite party appeared and conducted the case saying that this promotion of this scheme is not valid in Tamil Nadu because of the Tamil Nadu Act, which prohibits any promotional campaign. But the court said he should have mentioned all those things in the outer wrapper itself.
The South Chennai District Consumer Forum ordered the coffee brand to compensate the consumer with 10,000 rupees for causing mental agony.
If it is not applicable to any region or to any part of the state, they should not be exhibiting it at all. They should not be showing it. They should not be advertising on it. But the manufacturers, they on the whole apply the same kind of tactics in the regions where they are not applicable also.
Consumers rarely take the trouble of going to the court to settle their issues with big brands.
The price schemes with fast-moving consumer goods are often misleading. The court judgment in this particular case is a big relief for the consumers. In Chennai, Peer Muhammad, NDTV Hindu.
Well, still ahead on the bulletin, we take a peek into an age-old funeral service station of the city that's as old as the Sepoy Mutiny.